Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's like our Cars episode, remember? I couldn't even start it.
3, 2,
Sorry.
3.
Why don't you just make that the intro? Welcome back.
Welcome to the 626 podcast. I'm really glad you guys are here. Apparently, we can't even get the show started this week.
No.
Because Tori has a terrible case of the giggles. And if you notice, she's not the only one laughing here. And if you're online, you can actually look at the other angle here.
Oh, man.
We have our lovely friends, Courtney and TJ from Wish Upon a Sparks podcast. Which I don't know why I want to say Once Upon a Sparks. It's Wish Upon.
There's a reason why you want to say
Did
that.
I say
It was Once Upon, wasn't it?
Our original name
was Sparkly Ever After.
Oh, that's right, Sparkly Ever
That's
After.
what it was.
And then we toyed around. We even talked to you guys about it. We thought about Once Upon a Sparks, and then we ended up going.
And it was Wish
Upon
Upon a Sparks. Okay, so I did have it wrong. My
So-
bad.
Wish Upon Stars, but we're the Sparks.
Star
Wow, that
Sparks?
was really good. That was really good.
That was deep.
That was awesome. I was like, wait. Dang, that was like a good pitch. That was like a tag.
This is going to be such
I
an
needed a
episode.
wink. We just need a good wink. Like
I'm not good at winking.
Oh, you can do a wink, and then it can go ding, like a little tink.
one
You
of our
can
social
add that in post, right?
One of our social videos is
You
just
can
going
add
to
the
be Courtney
ding.
trying to wink.
She's good at blinking,
That's
All right.
fantastic.
especially for long periods of time. And most people call that napping.
Oh
I am
my God. That you are.
I'm
And
good
putting
at
yourself to
closing my
bed.
eyes just for 8 hours every night.
Or more.
Okay, so now that we've gone off the rails here, so if anybody didn't hear you guys from our previous episode in season 1, I think,
These are their faces.
these are their faces. Yeah.
Hello.
You guys were one of the last ones we recorded before we started doing video, so
Yes.
you guys didn't get to grace the cover of the internet. And I guess you guys are still getting ready to start doing video, so people haven't seen you. There are people who may not know what you look like.
I mean,
That's
they see
very
their
true.
Instagram.
Well, have you shown your faces on your Instagram? Yeah, you
Yes.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have the lifestyle page, Wish Upon a Sparks, which has our Disney trips and our lifestyle stuff. Then we have the
What
Wish
are you
Upon a
giggling
Sparks.
for?
I'm just laughing because I suck at social media
She
right
does
now.
not suck at social media.
So you might not see her face because I don't post.
It's the same.
If you scroll for a while, you'll find us.
Yeah,
And then you have the Wish Upon a Sparks podcast page, which is like totally dedicated to just like podcast news and stuff, which doesn't have our face very often on it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit. Tell everybody what's the podcast? What do you do on your podcast?
Oh, she put the mic down, which means I have to talk.
You're just good at explaining things.
Oh, thank you. So the Wish Upon a Sparks podcast is something that we came up with almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's really been that long.
It's been a while. Yeah,
Wild.
it's crazy. It's a crazy
That's
idea we
nuts.
had. So I've always wanted to do a podcast, and Courtney's always wanted to do a podcast. And so we decided to start a podcast, and we just couldn't figure out when we were going to start it. And one day Courtney was like, hey, what if we did a podcast about Disney movies, and we just rated our favorite Disney movies and recorded our thoughts on them? And I said, love it. Let's start it next week. So we started it super abruptly, and
I do remember that.
We've been doing an episode a week ever since. And it's kind of evolved, though. So it started off with just us kind of reviewing Disney movies, but it's slowly evolving into us doing our trips to the parks as well. And as of recently, doing like a Q&A episode, and it's going to even branch out even more into us doing like lifestyle stuff and all that entails with what we do with, our trips and vacations and things like that.
Yeah.
And there's Courtney's
And
edition.
that's Courtney's addition
Yeah.
to the
Ditto.
information.
Ditto. She just hit you with the
Nailed
ditto.
it.
Ditto.
So I know when one of the things we talked about a lot in the first episode that we had you guys on, we talked a lot about it was about stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Because it was something new, and I always love the fact that you guys literally just jumped into it. Like one of the things we've talked about before on the podcast is like people get hung up a lot on, okay, I got to plan everything out into perfect detail, have everything planned out. And sometimes you can get so stuck in that planning phase that you don't get anywhere.
Or you just use it as an excuse eventually.
You
of
use
like
it as
not
an
starting.
excuse. And you guys jumped into it. So we talked about that. But what I wanted to kind of go back into now is that you guys not only pivoted the podcast a little bit, but you guys have been really consistent, even more consistent than we have with posting.
Oh my gosh.
What is is there a secret method? What's
your secret?
What's the secret sauce? What is it that makes you guys be able to do this every single week? It's weekly.
Oh, Courtney lifted the mic.
Weekly. I think just like doing it together, because to be honest, like there's lots of times where I'm kind of over it and I don't want to do it, and I'm like, this is a lot, and I really just don't have the mental capacity for
I
this
really
right
just
now.
want to take a nap and go to bed.
Yeah, I just want to have a glass of wine and go to sleep and like forget about it. But I know this is important to TJ, and it is important to me, even when I get tired and feel like I can't do it anymore. But so you just got to keep pushing through for the other person, I think.
Yeah.
At least that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that there's a lot of weeks when I feel the same way. Like, you know, obviously podcasting, as much as I would love that to be my job, I think that people that know me very intimately know that, like, if I could be a professional podcaster, that's what I would do. Like, I love it. I love talking. I love sharing my thoughts. I love talking to people. But we have real jobs, multiple real jobs. And so there's weeks when it's exhausting, but I think that it's like the commitment we have to each other. And even I think about this, is going to sound super cheesy, but I think about like our listeners, and like, even though you maybe not have the biggest following compared to other podcasts, like you think of like the people that like look forward to Magical Monday, like when we release the episode, like I think of them, like when I'm tired on a Sunday at 11 o'clock and we still have to record an episode, I think of the people that listen to our podcast, and I'm like, they're expecting an episode tomorrow. And they look forward to it because they follow us on Spotify and Apple, and they're patiently waiting for the new drop. And, you know, even though we do the podcast in quotation marks for us, we do it for them too. And so it gives me a reason to say, hey, I'm gonna suck it up, have a cup of coffee, and record this episode.
Yeah, I think even too, like, getting weekly, like, to actually sit down and press record is a lot sometimes. But once you press record and you start talking, you start doing it, you remind yourself how refreshing it
And
is.
it kind of just flows.
Yeah, and you just, yeah.
Well, I remember you guys had talked about like when it became something that you looked forward to, in the sense that it was kind of like a little mini home date night.
Yeah.
Because it like caused you guys to actually like sit down together, and it takes intentionality too, which is really nice. And it's really good for couples, especially. But like, it was something that was fun that you both loved to do, but you could do it together. And it was like y'all's thing.
Yeah.
So it was like y'all could make a nice dinner and then sit down and watch whatever movie it was going to be that you guys were going to be reviewing.
Yeah.
And then the next day, you know, you wake up, you do your thing in the morning, and then like evening time comes and y'all get to record it. But it was like, I was always like, that's kind of cute, because they get to like, you guys get to have your own little like special time.
Yeah. Lately we've been doing like a lot of like snacks, so it's like it's fun to see like, oh, what are we gonna eat? I think that's like fun of it too, is like, what are we gonna eat while we watch this movie and like hang out. And it
didn't you guys, y'all did Star Wars and y'all made the drink.
We did.
Right? Yeah.
So I love making cocktails at home. Like I'm kind of into home bartending, and so I'll try to match whatever
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. I'll try to match the drink that we're like having that week with the movie. So like, if we're having something that's like, you know, Star Wars themed, or it's a Star Wars movie or something, like even when we did Lightyear, I'll try to find like something from like Oga's at, you know, I find a recipe from something at Hollywood
Didn't you
Studios.
have fuzzy tauntaun?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could. Yeah.
Where did you get the
Well,
the
someone
fizzy
gave
thing?
me- I don't know. Oh, I don't think we did
We
that.
didn't do the fuzzy tauntaun. We did.
Oh, you didn't do it?
I did jet juice for myself, and then I did.
It's the fruit one.
Yes,
It's the one that comes in the tiki.
Yes, that's what I did for her.
I don't remember what that one was.
I don't remember it either.
I don't either.
But I looked at the recipe.
I can't remember.
I looked at the recipe
I don't
and I
remember
made
much
it.
about that day.
But yeah, you go to
was
Oga's and funnily enough, you'll have, you know, 5-6 drinks and you leave. You can't remember what you had. But anyway. But
With a
anyways.
$250 bill.
But anyways. I want
gosh.
to like echo your point though. Like, you know, we will theme the drink after the movie. We'll make a snack, like we'll make like a charcuterie board, and we'll have dinner around it. The cool thing is about it, it forces us to kind of, which is what if we ever move away from doing the movies and do something else I miss about it, is when you're going to record an episode about a movie, you're forced to pay attention to the movie. And I found out when we were recording these episodes to do the movies that there were so many times before we started this podcast where her and I would sit down and watch a movie together, and we would just scroll on our phones. And we weren't paying attention. But there was something about the podcast, sadly enough, and also amazingly enough, that would force us to, hey, we're going to have to talk about this movie in detail. And there's going to be people that listen to this episode that are going to catch details that we don't if we're not careful. So we need to do our due diligence. We need to pay attention, be in the moment. And that's what made it more romantic, because it's like, hey, we're going to put our phones on do not disturb. We're going to put them face down. We're going to make a charcuterie board. We're going to make a drink. And we're going to sit here and we're going to watch this episode together.
Yeah.
And focus and be in the moment. And it was super important. And it's become something we look forward to.
Do you guys like pause the movie like throughout and talk about like, oh my gosh, wait, what? Or is it more of just you watch it fully through and then you're like, ha, here's
Yeah.
my feelings?
It depends on the movie. If it's one that neither of us have seen, I would like Lightyear. We paused multiple times when like a good moment would happen. We'd be like, pause it and discuss it for a second.
Lightyear.
Yeah, there was good parts.
I have my opinions, TJ.
I know you do. We'll bring you on our podcast.
I was like, wrong podcast for that.
I know,
wrong
but it's fine.
Then there's movies like 101 Dalmatians we've seen 1,000 times, both of us, and we get like it would come to, I'm like, this is my favorite part. She's like, oh, I love this part too, but we have to pause it to talk, because we know what's gonna happen next. So it depends on the movie. Like when we watched WALL-E, we paused it multiple times because she had never seen it, and I had seen it.
WALL-E.
Yeah, I always thought that I was not gonna enjoy it, so I just never watched it.
Bump you, Pixar, for
Did
making
you
me have
enjoy it?
feelings for a freaking
Yeah, I
robot.
did enjoy
Oh,
Oh, she loved it.
It's so
such
cute.
feelings.
Yeah, I told her the first 30 minutes when there's no dialogue, and you fall in love with the character. I was like, this is
Brilliant.
Gold.
Pixar at its greatest.
Gold.
Peak storytelling.
Peak storytelling.
Just all story, nothing else. Like that was the original Pixar to me, is like being shown right there, where it's like there's like the Pixar shorts. There's not a lot of not a lot of talking.
What's
in
the one
Pixar
with the
shorts.
chess match?
There's like
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
it's literally like the chess match.
Where he's like playing himself.
Yeah.
No dialogue. Just you're drawn in, and it's beautiful.
I like the birds.
I don't
on
think
the
do any of
line.
their shorts
That
do
was
any of their
hilarious.
shorts have
The
dialogue?
The original ones do not have any dialogue.
I was gonna say because I can't think of any of the. There may be one that has it, but like even the birds or like
Well,
the
even
most
the new
the
ones
soup
don't.
dumpling
Don't have. Yeah,
one,
you're
the
right.
little-
Like
Oh my gosh,
like,
that one. The
that
bow.
one, the
Bao is
one.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Bao
There's
is
one with a
good.
pit bull and a kitten that's really beautiful.
That one made me cry.
It made me boohoo, like boohoo cry.
You're gonna cry.
But Pixar makes you cry in general.
And I'm not
does.
even a cat person, and it made me cry.
So I know one of the things I wanted to like go into because like you guys talked about a couple things from like my perspective is always like I'm always into like efficiency and productivity and like how like things to create better habits and stuff, and that's been a big kick for this year. And you guys actually, as you were talking, kind of described a lot of elements that I think are a part of creating a healthy habit. Like one of the ones is having an accountability partner. And Courtney, you brought up like, hey, because sometimes I don't want to do it, but the other person, it's important to them, I'm going to do it for them. Yeah. That actually is a huge strategy that people like. If you can find somebody that is like going to be that extra person that can kind of push you and kind of get you going, that is why it is so important often to like not just venture out on your own. Find someone who'll go do it with you. Yeah. Because maybe you both aren't always going to be 100% like, let's go, at least not in the beginning. But you're more likely to have like somebody who's like, okay, well, I want to do it. And if you're not fully, we'll try to make it work. Like it's that good push. So I really think that's a good strategy that you guys have like fallen into naturally, which is I think what makes it well is because you guys are married and naturally have
They
that.
like each other.
Yeah, a little.
She's pretty okay.
Ditto.
I think the other element too is like incorporating things that you look forward to.
Yeah,
With it,
that's
too.
literally the next strategy, which is like you
Oh
guys
my God,
found
are
other
we,
ways.
like the same brain.
You tied the
He's ignoring me,
objective,
it's
you
fine.
tied the habit, you tied the thing you're trying to do to a reward system, which is like it's a date night. It's you get to try new snacks, you try new drinks, you get to turn like you found something to have that. And then the final strategy is putting weight behind it, which is like you guys it's not just about you, it's about the audience. Like
Yes.
regardless of the size. And I think that's the hardest part. Like I've had the opportunity to like coach some people who are starting up either podcasts or other social stuff. And the biggest question I get is like, well, how long should I do it for nobody? And I'm like, well, is it a nobody or is it just not the number you want it to be? Because the number you want it to be isn't nobody.
Yeah.
That's still somebody's. Like, and we get lost because now we have Instagram and TikTok where we're like,
Lots of
that reel got
comparison.
1,000 views. That's awesome. And you
I
listen
love
to
that.
when you start a podcast, sometimes if you don't already have the audience, you're starting with like 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, whatever it is.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
There's episodes that have 5 listens, and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's how you start. That's how you build. But if 5 people were in your house right now listening to you talk, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this is great! These 5
amazing.
people are interested in what I'm saying." You know,
Which is a lot of like a mindfulness check that I think, I mean, I know I have to do because like I'll look at, you know, a reel pops off or sometimes it doesn't. And this one got 2K and this one got 200 and like, you know, all that. And I'm just like, what the heck? But then I'm also like, yeah, but like 200 people took time to watch it.
Yeah.
And they gave a crap. And it's
Yeah.
like, huh, okay, well, that's cool.
I love that because I was listening to a podcast recently, and it had that perspective of if you have a podcast and let's say your lowest episode is 4 to 5 listeners and your highest is 30 or 40. So you say your average is 20. That's 20 people on average, every single week that you drop an episode that want to hear what you have to say.
Which is so cool.
And I'm talking like,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about 30 seconds. I'm talking, they're listening to like the analytics you look at for our podcast. Like one of our top grossing episodes has more than that. I won't go into all that, but let's just say 20 people listen to what you have to say. For some of our episodes are an hour and a half long. One of our episodes is 2 hours long and it has like 50 listeners to it. Like 50 people took 2.5 hours of their life to listen to what you and our guest had to say.
Yeah.
That's huge. And it's when like, yeah, it's some people would look at that and be like, oh, only 50 people listen to it. I look at that and say, 50 people listen to what I had to say, what my wife had to say, what our guests had to say. That's huge. It's amazing. It's incredible. And everything starts with something. Like you think of the bigger podcasts that are out there, they all started with one listener. None of them started. And you would think, you're like, oh, well, 3 years in, they probably had, thousands. No, they didn't. They only had a few. They kept doing it consistently for years and years and years. And then people started really catching on and listening. And it's not always about how many people listen. It's always about who listens.
Yeah.
And the impact you have on those people. If you have 3 people listen to an episode and one person you're able to impact based on what you say, when you really think about the big scheme of things, like you've done something good. And that's what you really have to take into consideration.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think back to like, have you ever heard the story about Lil Nas X and how he like got Old Town Road to like become popular?
No.
Because it's a really interesting story. Like, so he was recording songs constantly, and he literally was recording a song that he thought would be like popular or whatever it was. He'd make like a pop song, release it, and like try to do all this viral marketing, and it would never work. And he never stopped. He just kept doing it. And the guys that recounted recording this song, he came in with them and was like started recording it. And he had this whole strategy laid out for like how he was going to just start posting about it and start trying to like, his strategy was not to sell music the normal way. It was not to be like, put it on iTunes, encourage people to listen to it. It was all viral marketing, and he was just determined. And that guy, I got to give him credit in the fact that he was like literally running full speed into a wall every time he released a song, because he was like, I'm going to just, either no one's going to listen to it or it's going to go viral. And finally he got one that did, and it changed his life. And I don't want everybody to hear what I'm not saying, which is I'm not saying like, oh, you should just really focus on trying to be a viral thing. It's the idea that sometimes the little steps will eventually build the big step. Like sometimes you're learning and just doing, and you're just not getting the views you want and not seeing the results you want. And that's just the reality of it. But it's, and this is what I said, I think on episode 1, which was like, doing that and trying, and even if you're not achieving the success you want, is a whole hell of a lot better than going, man, I wonder what if I started that podcast all those years ago.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I love that perspective, because it's one of those things where like you'd rather throw ideas at a wall and see what sticks than just stand there with your hands tied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because so many times you'll have an idea and you'll just let it rot, right? But even if this idea doesn't succeed, I think it's better to try it and it fail, and then you're okay, that didn't work. But if you don't try it and fail, then you will never know. You'll never know, A, and then B, you'll always regret it. Or if you're someone that's ultimately positive, which is very rare in this life, you'll at least think about it from time to time and be like, man, I wish I'd have done that,
Yeah.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Michael
That's
Scott.
true.
I do feel like
I'm not a little stitious.
oh
Not
my
superstitious, but
goodness, me have mercy. I feel like social media tends to have like a bit more of an impact
I'm a
as
fairly
far as
decent
like
leader.
people.
No, Mose. I'm kidding. Sorry. I'm completely off.
So done.
Continue. Sorry.
No, social media is so impactful.
Well, I feel like social media has like, I always say it has its pros, it has its cons, but in the sense of like how people tend to gauge success in something, I feel like it's really easy to look, because there are some people that do just get lucky and they just pop off and they get viral, and it's like, so then when you look at doing something, you're like, oh, well then I'm going to figure out how to make that happen for me. And then it's like, you get so focused on like, I'm just trying to pop off. And it's like, it's just not everybody goes viral. You cannot, I do not care how many people on social go, I grew my Instagram and my following by this much, and I did these things. You should pay for my course. You don't know what you did. You just did it, and you lucked out.
And the algorithm loved it for whatever reason.
You
and so now
lucked
you're
out.
Yeah, exactly.
You got lucky, and now you're trying to make money, which is fine. I get it.
Which is a great transition to buy our course at the link below.
Money.
No, listen.
Okay.
You hit a vein for me, so I want to talk about this for a second.
Ooh, bring it on.
Okay, so this is when you get into the argument of, do you want 1 million followers and you have crap content and you can't sleep at night? Or would you rather have 500 followers, but you're talking about something that you're passionate about and that is meaningful and that is coherent and vibrant and full of life, and it's something you're excited about
And you're proud of.
You're proud of. You're proud of it. Like, pride is something that people view as negative, but it's okay to be proud of the product that you like. If 500 people on Instagram want to follow my creativity and what I have to bring to the table because it's something that's detailed and well thought out and well educated and well oriented versus just cheap likes because I'm following an algorithm, what is actually more satisfying?
Yeah, I mean, that's spot on.
You know what I mean? So when you really think about it, I think that you have to take into consideration, like, I want to be Instagram famous. I want to be TikTok famous. I want to just be famous in general.
Where's the substance? Like, I mean, everyone's these days has a workout page. Everyone these days has a, follow my, makeup or whatever thing, and you'll do this and this, and you'll be great. Sorry, makeup people, but fitness people, you're all right. Not sorry.
But anyways, there's always it's like from the 70s, get rich quick, right? Get followers quick. It's the same thing. Like, history repeats itself, and it's like, wait a minute, like, I'd rather follow there's so many pages that I follow that are like wildlife photographers, and it just drives me crazy. You guys will appreciate this because you're photographers and videographers. There's so many journalists and photographers that I follow that are in Africa and Australia and every other aspect of the world, taking these beautiful photos of wildlife, and they'll have 300 and 400 followers, and they're living their passion, and they're posting these beautiful images of endangered species, and I'm following them, and I'm just like, wow, like, what you're doing is bringing joy to me, and it's bringing joy to 400 or 500 people. And then you have follow other pages, and it's like, oh, here's my workout video in my Planet Fitness gym, and here's me eating an avocado, and they have
Come
3
and
million.
work with me till March 1st. I'm gonna have you snatched.
Comment work for my workout routine. And
Get ready with me.
Yeah, get ready with me. And I'm
Although
over here.
the ones making fun of the Gen Zers that are like, and then I just like, and they're like putting on cottage cheese on their face. It's so fantastic.
And I'm literally, I'm a millennial. Obviously, you can tell by the wrinkles under my eyes that I'm a millennial, and I get it. Like, I want that satisfaction too. I seek that satisfaction too, and it's hard and it's difficult. But I guess the underlying theme of what I'm trying to say is, we live in a world that lacks substance.
Where does your oxytocin hit come from?
Yeah.
Like, does it come from you valuing what you do, or does it come from people hitting like?
Because, like, when's the last time someone asked you, like, hey, you're doing this workout in front of a camera, you're doing your diet in front of a camera, you're doing this in front of a camera. When's the last time you went to the gym and worked out and there wasn't a camera?
And you just did it because you loved it.
And you just put your headphones on and you turned on that song that you love. And you did it because you loved it. When's the last time you recorded a podcast episode and you posted it and 2 people listened and you were okay with that? When's the last time that happened?
Have you guys seen the video of Ed Sheeran doing the mini show?
What?
Okay, so there's a video.
And no one would go see it because they
Yeah.
didn't believe he was behind the curtain.
Yeah, right. So Ed Sheeran
Wait,
did a mini
what?
show. There's a guy out front, and he's going, you get to come. Anybody want to see an Ed Sheeran show? Anybody want to see Ed Sheeran? It's a mini Ed
And
Sheeran
people
show.
just kept saying no.
They were like, no. And to be fair to them, it sounded crazy because it's
Like,
just this
'cause it was
random
just
guy.
for free? It was a
So-
random
Okay, it's
dude?
very similar to the fact that if anyone ever asks you if you want to be Batman, you
Yeah.
just got to say yes.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Wait, I don't know.
My gosh.
But so anyway, like, these people go in, and it's fascinating. And the reason I brought it up is because you see in one, this couple or this girl and a guy, they sitting down, And they're like, okay, this isn't going to be real. And Ed Sheeran, the thing opens up and Ed Sheeran just starts playing.
Ed Sheeran.
And they both immediately grab their phones and they're watching him play like this through the screen. And everybody's commenting on it. They're like, why are you both doing that? Well, then it cuts to the next dude and Ed Sheeran comes on and he starts playing. The guy just sits there without a phone and
he just
He's just
enjoys
bopping
it.
along.
He even
takes-
sings with him.
Yeah, he just takes the moment in.
Why have I not heard of this?
And it was beautiful because that wasn't the point of it, but people in the comments all noticed it, and I thought that was so fascinating because we see it so much at weddings where like people don't experience weddings; they have to use their phone to take a picture
Which
of it.
side
or
note,
film
I
it.
have made it a point now where if that's in any of my images, I turn all of their phones into chickens.
I love that
Well,
so much.
Tori, you're a national treasure.
We'll show you that.
Literally.
I would love, yeah, please show us after. So my thing would be, I think that like it's almost like a conscious thing that we need to do as a society to say, hey, special moments happen. We have this awesome device in our pockets where we can take pictures and videos. So pull out your phone, take a picture, put your phone back in your pocket,
And be done.
and be done. And
Yeah.
listen, watch, receive, be in the moment. Like there's this. I probably talked about this the last time I was on y'all's episode, but I'm talking about it again. There's this concept of fragmented media, right? Where we can't even watch TV without being fragmented. There used to be, so TV rots the mind. Our parents would say, right?
I do remember. Yes.
Rots the mind.
Yep.
Well, we can't even watch a movie these days without being on our phones. We're fragmented. So what we'll do is we'll turn a movie on, which goes back to what we were talking about with our recording. We'll turn a movie to watch together, and we can't even watch the movie without being on Instagram at the same time. We're fragmented. So we can't even be in the moment to watch a Disney movie, right? We have to be on our phones. And then within our phones, we're not just on our phones. We're responding to text messages. We're replying on Instagram. We're scrolling. We're on TikTok. There's 4 or 5 fragmented things we're doing on our phone while we're also trying to watch a movie and be present with each other.
It's impossible.
What a world we live in. Like,
Yeah.
that's impossible. You hit the nail on the head. It's impossible. How are we supposed to connect?
It goes even beyond that because like one of the things I've seen so much of and I hear so often is like, oh, I can't focus. I can't get this done. I can't get this done. I'm so unorganized. I just can't process the information. Like I hear from people all the time who are talking about how stressed they are because they can't manage their life or they can't manage these things. And there's definitely things that cause that. But the reality is because we've been growing up in a fractured world like that where we're fragmented, your brain is just so accustomed to this multitasking and we've convinced ourselves that, well, I'm good at multitasking. And the reality is you're not. The brain's terrible at multitasking. It's really, really, really bad at multitasking. And because of that, you end up, when you're trying to do basic things, you're not taking in the information. And I'm not speaking as like, I'm an expert and figured it out. Like, one of the biggest issues, and Tori would absolutely amend this, is I have a terrible habit of when Tori's talking, my brain is not listening to what she's saying. It's thinking about responding or thinking about something else. And I have to really make sure I'm zeroed in on what she's saying. Otherwise, I won't be able to respond and I'll have to go, I'm sorry, say that again. And I'm still bad at it. I still struggle with it, but I've gotten better. But like, it is something that like starts with, okay, when I'm going to watch a show, I'm going to put the phone away or at least try not to be on it as much. And it's little wins, but it's like, that's where I think it starts is that because we have the ability to be like, I mean, everything you do on your phone now is like, oh, you can multitask, you can split view, you can do these things. We want to make it so you can do multiple things at once.
It's so dysfunctional.
And like now, like the apps are like, instead of just being a photo app, Instagram's a photo app, a video app, a live streaming app. Like everything can do multiple things. And I just don't think our brains are capable of handling, okay, I've got to simultaneously focus on this and this and this and this and this. It gets distracted. It loses your touch. You lose the ability to be able to function. And in day-to-day life, it's hard to be able to be like, okay, that person told me about a date I needed to remember. Crap, what was the date they remembered? Like, what was that? And we're already not great at memorizing things. Like, that's just not how the human brain was ever designed or however it developed.
No, we're designed to remember experiences, not dates and times. And people forget that. Like we are an experience-based organism. We are driven by. That's why post-traumatic stress is such a big deal. We remember experiences in Technicolor, right? Versus someone tells you, hey, get this assignment done by July the 30th, right? It's not going to happen unless you're reminded and you have to stress about it and think about it. But if you experience something, you remember it in vivid color because we are an experience-based organism.
Yeah, I think that's dead on there. And shifting a little bit back, because I wanted to kind of back up a little on like some of the things that we had talked about, because we kind of brought up that social media aspect. It is one of the things that really stands out to me right now with social media is that because of the way the algorithm works, and because if you guys don't understand, the basics of the algorithm is it looks for the engagement on a post or an idea. And that's great because it was a good way of measuring, like, okay, people engaged in this, so maybe they're interested in it, so we'll show it to more people. But the problem that we have right now, and I think we're seeing it really badly on Instagram especially, is that what we run into is people can create shock or controversy because that kind of an algorithm only favors, in the end, shock and controversy. So because if you say something insane, like people are doing things where they're like 7 tips for getting having a happy day, and they'll put 6 tips, and then everybody in the comments will be like, you only did 6, you can't count. Well, the algorithm doesn't know what you're saying, doesn't care. It goes, oh, all right, everybody's commenting on this, so I'm going to share it out there. Or you see more of is like the getting ready with me is always the ones I laugh at because it's somebody in their kitchen in their underwear getting dressed, and they're like, get ready with me, and it's like everybody in the comments is either like going, oh yeah, let me put a emoji, or they're gonna be putting in there and going, why are you naked in your kitchen getting dressed? What are you doing? But the algorithm doesn't care. It just sees you engaging.
Engagement, yeah.
And everything does that. But that's also how our media is. Like we see it on the news. There's a reason that like if you go on ESPN right now, like when we grew up, I don't know if you watched a lot of SportsCenter growing up, but I watched it every morning before I went to school. It was top 10 plays and it was the news. Now I turn on SportsCenter and it's 2 guys yelling at each other about something stupid that I don't care about. Like, it's just insane. And then it's the same thing if you go to like, if you watch like, we're getting ready to have elections. If you watch the presidential debates going into this year, and if you watch the presidential debates of the past, they are set up like boxing matches.
They are.
Like they're all in this like dimly epic lit lighting,
Blue
like low
against
light,
red,
and it's like they're all slide up like they're gonna box each other. Like you could literally put up a UFC poster and this, and you'd be like, "What?"
Well,
it's all controversy.
There was an actual like some type of debate, not a debate, but like it was a boxing match or it was some type of something. But the way that it was showed on, and this was like I think a few months ago, because I remember asking you, and I was like, "Wait a second, that wasn't a political thing?" Because like it was red and it was blue. And it was like set up and stuff. And I thought it was a presidential debate type thing. And I was like, what? And Scott was like, no, it was something to do with basketball or something.
Oh, yeah, I think it was.
But it was something. But the way it was set
like
up was
game.
identical to how they set up the Trump v. Biden or the Trump v. Hillary, like that type of stuff. And I was just like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, that's how it is. Shock and awe. Everything is shock. We have to shock you. We have to get you energized or angry or like anything.
Like, you are so numb. Like we're all so numb to just everything that you have to do shock value to get attention. Yeah. Because we are just so like we check out so easily.
Yeah. Well, that's something I appreciate a lot. And Courtney, maybe you could share a little bit about how you think about it. But I feel like Courtney does a great job with our social media of not trying to post what she thinks people want to see, but she posts what is like valuable to our content.
I just posted what I post.
She does. Yeah.
I just post what I want to post.
It just,
but that's good.
Like it, they like it. If they don't, whatever. It's what I like, so who cares?
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. Like she'll find
There's our soundbite.
Literally, she'll post moments of like our recordings and stuff like that, and like she'll just capture this beautiful moment of me like talking passionately on the podcast, and she'll post it, and I'll literally be talking about some randomness. But like these moments that she finds in posts are just so special, I feel like, because she's really good at capturing realness versus, sound bites, which we're a culture of sound bites.
We are a culture of sound bites.
And it's so refreshing to approach social media in a way where it's like, hey, I'm not going to just pander to the least common denominator. I'm going to post what I want to post and not try to be relevant, but try to be not relevant, but
Authentic.
Authentic, yes. Don't try to give an R word.
Authenticity.
Realistic.
Authenticity.
And what's
realistic,
funny,
yes.
Realistic.
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
good.
Yes.
I do think there are, and we've talked about this before, is like, I I don't think we've ever been so like just as a population or a society. I don't think we've ever been so hungry for authenticity, like ever. And so like everyone, I feel like just craves it, which is why we love Bluey.
Yeah.
And like those types of shows.
Yeah, people feel seen and heard.
Yeah, and it's like people crave authenticity, but yet we still are like, it's a stupid video, I like it. Like, you know, and the shock value, I like it. And like, it's fake, but I like it, you know, and it's just like, it's so social media, man. It's so...
Shifting gears, because we could go down a philosophical train of social media for hours.
Sure could.
I do want to ask again, because I think we asked this a little bit, but and give you a chance here, Courtney. Why Disney? What made you guys pick Disney?
Ooh, what a question. I don't know. I like the pieces of Disney that I feel like it's kind of all encompassing. Like there's magic, there's fairy tales, there's things where you can kind of dive deep and like escape reality from, but there's also like a realness and things that you can take from different movies, different TV shows, and actually like apply it to your life and like learn life lessons from it. And I think having both is what makes it so enticing for me.
Do you guys? And you guys are big park people too.
Yeah.
And that was part of your part
Your
of the
face,
shift.
TJ.
TJ used to not be a park person.
No, he
Oh, you
didn't.
really?
I wasn't.
I didn't know that.
No, 'cause it was just
I used
Courtney.
to make
Well, I know
fun,
you weren't a big roller coaster guy, right?
no, I used to make fun of Disney adults. So I grew up with. I really did. Here's the crazy part. I was a huge Disney movie fan. I grew up with our '90s movies that we grew up with. All of us know. Incredible. We grew up with the Pixar ones out there with the Disney ones, but we had A Bug's Life, Toy Story, Emperor's New Groove, early 2000s, but we'll let it slide.
Still great.
We had Hercules, Aladdin, Hunchback, and it goes on. A Goofy movie. It goes on and on. So I grew up in this era of incredible Disney movies. I love them, but the parks never hit for me as a kid. I went when I was a little kid. Wasn't really a rides person. Magic Kingdom was okay, but I just didn't have a great experience when I went. I'll just put it that way. But there's something about the parks as an adult when I went with Courtney, and it became our thing. That was really
Sparked, would you say?
I would say it really sparked like this love of, talking about it, because the parks are, they're incredible, and they have all these awesome and amazing things you can do. And I think that's what really kind of got us going on it. Was like, I was always a movie fan of Disney, but then when she got me to go to the parks, I was like, okay, like this is something to talk about. This is something to like, engage on. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you're a park person now. Would you consider yourself a Disney adult now?
Yeah.
Oh wow! You
Yeah,
wear
I
the
would.
ears and everything.
Oh, how the
I
turntables
wouldn't
have
wear
turned.
ears, but I'm wearing a shirt right now in the Business of Misery, which
Okay,
Paramore.
But I do love that like Disney style for adults has like shifted.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have to wear a goofy hat with
No.
like a Mickey ears.
Yeah,
on my
they're like
shirt. Yeah.
they're dope stuff. Like
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
stuff is really cool.
Like this shirt says I'm in the Business of Misery, and then on the back it has like all the villains. It's super cool.
I
just
really
love
thought it was
that.
a straight up Paramore shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a Paramore
Is it
shirt.
is it a Paramore shirt or is it a Disney?
Yeah, it's both.
It's
it's-
both.
I mean, it's not like
Wait a minute, Disney and Paramore have a thing together now?
no,
Or it's just like
it's
a-
just
It's
like
like a-
modeled
Can
after it.
Can we plug the brand that did it or no?
I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a brand that it's called the Lost Bros.
They're amazing.
And
Oh yes, I think
They're
Shannon's
incredible.
posted about them a couple
Yes,
times
they're
too.
amazing.
One of the people that do it, his name is Cody, and he's very into like emo pop punk bands, and so he like
All the stuff we grew up on. Yes.
does
yeah,
a
literally.
lot of like
Shut up.
Yes.
yeah. So he'll do like a lot of like they even did like a Warped Tour style tee.
At Warped Tour.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
They do like a lot of cool like stuff to like
The-
mesh
the-
them together.
The Sugar We're Going Down too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it has Tower of Terror on
Tower
it.
of Terror. Yeah, it's Tower of Terror. Sugar We're
Yeah.
Going Down. Yeah.
What?
It's super creative. It's super
It's
cool.
super cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
knit like a
That
knit.
Being a
is
Disney
so
adult has
cool.
never been so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
pretty
I
cool.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
It's so fun.
Crap.
Okay. I'll say
Don't
this.
make me- I
I'll
gotta
have
get
to
a
say this
t-shirt.
really quick.
Wait a minute, now I need to check this out.
I'll say being a Disney adult, but I'll also say like people that make fun of people who go to Universal or whatever. There's a scripture that says that we are to be like little children. And I think it's very important that we keep that childlike wonder to our lives. We are meant to grow up, but Jordan Peterson, someone that I very respect and listen to a lot, talks about how human beings are never meant to stop playing. We're always meant to play and be creative and have fun. And so whether it be Disney or Universal or kayaking or fishing or fireworks or whatever, you should find something that's fun and enjoyable, and you should enjoy it. And to heck with everybody else that makes fun of you for it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Because life is meant to be fun. We're created to play. We're meant to laugh. We're meant to not be able to start a podcast the way we want to because we're too busy laughing with each other because we love each other and we're just, so full of life and wonder and just that's the beauty of life. And so I used to make fun of Disney adults because I was trapped in a world, I will dare say, of religion. And I grew up in a very religious household where like things have to be this way and this way and this way. And then thankfully, I met Courtney and she helped me with a lot of things. And I broke free from that and realized that life is meant to be fun and creative and colorful and vibrant. And being a Disney adult or being a Universal adult or being an adult that's childlike, that likes to watch Bluey and Paw Patrol in their 30s, and we don't have kids. That's fine.
Dogs?
We have dogs. That's fine. That's okay. Wanting to go back.
You had a rabbit for a little bit.
We have a rabbit,
Did have a rabbit for a little bit.
Shout out to Andre. We like wanting to do things that are childlike is natural because we're all big kids. Like you guys have a kid, Caden. He's amazing. He's beautiful.
It's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
So funny.
Right? We were all him.
Yeah.
We all grew up from that stage and we're where we are now. But just because we're adults and we have responsibility and life makes us cry and want to go jump off the Dames Point doesn't mean that we don't have a piece of that child in us that's beautiful and fun and innocent, right? So, when the world sees people like Disney adults, or dare I say Swifties, and they're having fun and they're laughing and they're enjoying themselves, the world wants to tear them down because they don't get it. But you know what? Life's short. Let people find something they love and enjoy.
Yes.
Let them enjoy it.
I feel like that kind of ties in with guys.
Elaborate.
What?
Like, okay, so hold on. I'm going to elaborate. Calm down.
We're
No.
about to rage over here.
Dude?
Chill out. Chill out.
Chilling out.
So we've had this conversation
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this. Okay.
about,
I
you
hope
know
so.
exactly where I'm going with this.
Well,
We've had
Side
had
text
this
me the warning.
conversation. And so girls are always like, I'm going to Rome Target. I'm going to go out with the besties. We're going to go get drinks. We're going to go do
Girls'
this.
night.
Girls' night. We're going to blah, blah, blah. But the second that a guy wants to go hang out with his friends or wants to play D&D or likes to play video games or likes to do these things that bring him joy, he's instantly crapped on.
Yeah.
Because you're lazy. That's a stupid hobby. Why are you wasting your time doing this? Why are you doing, and it's like, I feel like guys a lot of times they don't get to be able to experience things that they just genuinely enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Because they just get crapped on all the time. Yeah. So it's like, that made me think of it. Cause we get the life sucked out of us when you grow up.
Somebody said a line, and I don't totally agree, but I think there is some truth to it, which is like today's men are paying the price for yesterday's patriarchy, which is like the oppression of women from historically are being paid for today, which is like there is a sense to truth to that in my mind, because I see it a lot with because I'm on golf Instagram and I see all the time where it's like women are like they're, and some of it's memeing, but it's like women on there are like, my husband was gone for 4.5 hours. All he wants to do is golf. It's like,
or I dressed up like a golf ball so my husband would love me. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
A little dramatic there. Yeah.
I've seen
I
him.
know. I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. I've seen the exact thing you're talking about. But it's like, my idea in that is that it's kind of like what you were saying, TJ, is like where we're not able to have fun. And like men have been pushed into this position where it's like,
Yeah.
you have to be uber productive, uber efficient, and any minute of the day needs to be spent tending to your family, taking care of your kid. And you just need to pour out.
Yeah.
And there's no method for them to be poured back into, because if they spend time with other men, they're neglecting their family.
We're
If
just,
they,
we're just in the garage, chugging beers.
anything you
Yeah.
do
They're
that
being lazy
fills
in
you
their
up is
lives.
now looked bad upon.
Doesn't matter that the conversation's helping us or bringing life to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're missing the fact, and then we wonder why men lead in suicide rate.
Yeah.
And you can't only pour out before there's nothing left to pour out.
But that's like, I mean, but all that to say, I mean, I know it's not the same because, like, I mean, we were talking about like everyone's meant to, have a childlike wonder and stuff. And I love that because it's so true, because you get it beat out of you in life when you become an adult. But
Yes.
guys don't have the ability.
But let me ask you this. I have two things I'm going to ask you. Number one, Courtney walks up to you randomly, says she's a Disney adult. Nobody thinks twice. Mm-hmm. I walk up to you and say, I'm a Disney adult.
Yeah,
It's totally different.
I get what you're saying.
Totally different,
Yeah, it's
right?
weird. Why are
It's
you a Disney
weird.
adult?
What do you mean you're a Disney adult? Especially, God
Only
forbid-
girls can wear ears and
God
tutus.
forbid, I
And
could imagine my life without you. But God forbid I'm unmarried. Like, I'm just a single guy who likes Disney, right?
Yeah.
Becomes a totally different scenario.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now think about this. Girl takes Thursday off from her Monday to Friday job for a mental health day. Gonna go to the spa with some girls. Just have a couple glasses of wine, just need to recharge, be back on Friday, knock everything out. Guy takes day off from work on Thursday to go golf with his friends
Yeah, one
because
is
he needs a break.
yeah,
What's the difference?
yeah.
There is none.
But how would it be viewed and how would it be discussed about?
You know exactly how it would be viewed and discussed about.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it's totally different. And I think we were talking about this before we started recording. Maybe some of it's recording. You said some men today are paying for the patriarchy from the past. I have to say this, especially because I think today's National Women's Day.
Oh, we are recording this on
Today is National
we
Women's
are
Day.
recording it on this day.
I have to say that women have been through a lot over the last, let's say, 10,000 years. Over the last 100, a lot of things have reversed. I think that they've reversed in a very positive way, and I wouldn't change any of it for the world. I am so glad that women have a voice. I'm married to an absolute girl boss. Courtney is a girl boss, and she's
a bombshell.
She's a bombshell. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's funny. And I'm so glad that I get to live in a world where my wife can, and I mean, for the first 3 years of our marriage, she was the breadwinner of our home. Like, I'm so thankful that I live in a society where I'm supported by and married to a woman who can lead the charge when I can't. And but that also will let me lead the charge when I can. Right? But it's almost come full circle where, like, it's got to start being talked about. And I'm thankful that we're having the conversation that at some point it's got to level out where we all need that whimsicalness in our life. We all need that sense of wonder. Like, it's not just, okay, I get it. Girl day, mental health day, whatever. Guys need that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
In our own way. And if that's golfing with our friends, if that's having garage beers and bench pressing, like, it looks different because guess what? We're different. We're different.
Yeah,
Guys
I'm
are
not gonna-
different than women.
I'm
We're
not gonna
so
roam
different.
Target.
We're
Sorry.
so different.
Lord knows I can for hours and hours. But yeah, I mean, it is. And I think that's because I never actually realized it until he had brought it up. And I was like, dang, like, you're right. Because it's just, and even like with whether it's memeing or not, like on these reels and all this stuff about, women harping on the guys going golfing or harping on them playing video games or harping on them, why are you wasting your time? Like, you could be doing something better. And it's like, yeah, but it brings them happiness.
Like, who cares?
You going to Target, you going to the spa, you going out with your girls, you going to Disney, you doing all these things. That brings you joy. I mean, no one says it's a waste of your time. No. So it's like, and that's why, I'm always like, if he ever is like, hey, like, so-and-so wants to golf, like, is that okay? Like, am I okay? Because he'll always check and see, like, just to make sure if, like, is that day okay? Like, do we have anything crazy going on? Do I need to help you with, like, the kids? Oh, my. But like, but
Kid for now.
it's kid for now. But I'm always just like, that it's an important thing for me for him to be able to have an escape like that, especially because he works so freaking hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, just like it's important for him, like to him, that I get out and go do things that bring me joy.
Yeah.
Because like we both do hard things in different aspects.
Yeah.
So it's like, that type of stuff just makes me so upset when guys just get crapped on.
Yeah. And it also makes me so upset too, with like couples in general. I'm sorry if this is derailing a little bit. Like you get couples too, like, and I think that you guys model this beautifully, and like selfishly, I think we model it beautifully too. But it's like, you can go to Scott and say, hey, I want to have a girls' night. Courtney can come to me and say, hey, I want to have a girls' night. And like, we're okay with it. Mm-hmm. But like vice versa, you guys both do that for us too. Like, well, the first 2 years of our marriage, I golfed every Saturday, and she never got mad about it, or never, she just understood like, he needs this. Like, it's just like he just needs to do this. And whenever I want to go do what I want to do, if I want to get a beer after work with people, my peers, she doesn't care. She's always supportive as long as I communicate. I'm sure it's the same way with you guys.
Yeah.
Communication is key. So it's one of those things where I think that both partners in the marriage need that. And it's so rare that you have a partner that's,
It is.
like, I feel like we don't talk about it enough, but like, I know you guys intimately, and I know you guys know us intimately, but like, I don't know how we like lucked out like with our partners,
don't
but
know,
we just got kind
man.
of lucky.
I'm just,
I like how me and Courtney sat there and we're just like,
that hits. Me
You
and TJ
are
are like,
fun-
feelings,
we both went
words, emotions.
Fun fact
We
about
both went
the four
ditto.
of us, the four of us, whenever early on,
You guys are all right.
early on in this quintuplet friendship, Tori and I were the big drivers because we had to like, hey, so we should hang out, and then Scott and Corey be like, cool, let's hang out. And me and Tori be like, okay, when, where, what are we wearing? Like, what's going on?
TJ and Tori are very animated and happy and have lots of emotions.
We
and
have, yeah.
me and Courtney have a solid baseline that we stay at.
We're very like,
Yeah,
love
that's
you,
cool.
appreciate you. There's no one like you. Like, I'm just so
Yeah.
thankful to have you in my life. And you guys are like, that's cool.
Like, guaranteed,
Ditto.
I mean it.
guaranteed, we will drive home tonight. I will text in the group chat. Love you guys so
love you
much.
guys
We
so
got home
much.
safe. Tori will be like, thanks so much for coming over.
Scott loved
Love
this
you
post.
guys.
Scott liked that post.
Scott will
Courtney
like
said,
the
"Thumbs
message.
up."
Courtney will like the message. That's just how our friendship goes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, I mean, y'all have your moments. You do.
They do.
I've gotten
there's
some
videos of me
heartfelt
and
text
Scott.
messages from
Those
Court.
are several videos.
Hugging each other and talking, but
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget the time that Scott ever like hugged you back, because you always used to like come over and just wrap your arms
I'm
around
a
him.
hugger.
Big side hugger.
I'm very, very.
Oh
good
my
hugger.
gosh, no! TJ got a full embrace,
I
and
did.
he almost cried.
I did.
because I was standing in the kitchen, and Scott hugged him, and he looked at me and went,
I was very blown away.
"Oh, it's fantastic! I love it. I love it so much."
I've enjoyed that part of the conversation. This whole like the things we've gone down have been a lot. Like because we really didn't have a plan going into this. We were just like, we're gonna have you guys back on, and we're gonna talk about
We're
the
gonna talk about
podcast.
consistency,
And I
and you
kinda
guys have
love
been
that.
really consistent. But I mean, I've really enjoyed what this conversation turned into.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying it so far. I kind of want to ask a couple more questions though.
Please do.
More fun stuff because I feel like we've been heavy for a few.
Yeah, I love that.
What is because I think we can like look back on the last episodes and kind of hear it, but what is now your favorite Disney movie?
Go first.
Courtney's your favorite Disney movie?
No, I wanted to go first.
No. Okay.
Like, I'm just talking so much.
She
it's
is
just not-
never
We're
good at
talking a
questions.
lot.
You ask her a question, she goes, "I don't know."
Which is why I talk
I
so
say,
much.
oh, that's such a good question
That's
to buy
such a
myself
good
time.
question.
That's a strategy.
Such a good question. I can't wait to answer
I
this
cannot wait
question
to
because it's
answer
such a good.
Ooh,
Such
I'm
a good
gonna ponder
question.
it.
Can you ask it again?
What's your favorite Disney movie?
All right, Potter time's over.
I mean, is it easier if I was like, "What's your favorite Pixar?" and then we just like broke it up from there?
Yeah, I'm like kind of like breaking it up in my
That
mind.
is a lot of movies to like.
Yeah, I guess I
okay.
did. Especially now
Okay.
that Disney
Yeah.
owns everything.
I think like my favorite. This is hard. My favorite like classic Disney movie. So like anything pre. I don't know, like 2000 was what I'm going to define as classic, is going to be like Beauty and the Beast. I think
Did you like the live action version of that?
I actually did.
Oh, okay. So good.
Yeah.
I was indifferent because I really don't. None of these live actions have ever been like. I
No,
needed
Beauty and the
I
Beast
think
live action
it's
is actually
probably
beautiful.
the best like live action remake that
I
Disney
thought
has
Emma was a
done.
fantastic choice.
She was
I agree. I
fantastic.
love
Also,
Emma
Little
Watson.
auto-tuning on
What
the
is
singing, but other
his-
than that,
What's his name? The one who played the prince. He played the beast, but he was the prince. But he was
Yeah.
he was in Eurovision, and I love him. And I can't remember his name.
And his vocals in the movie were
Oh, he's
amazing.
fantastic. He's
so good.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
Totally
fantastic.
agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
I like Gaston,
You like Gaston?
Yes.
whatever his name is.
Luke
one.
Evans.
I just like his in general.
Yeah, well, he also played the a bard in the Hobbit movies.
I love
Did a
it.
fantastic job. Continue.
Okay.
One drinks an
I
extra
think
stone.
my favorite like current movie. I really love Tangled.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think I'll always love
That
Tangled.
would be a great live action.
I
one,
just
too. I would enjoy
identify
that
with
one.
her on
It's done
such a
right.
such a
Yeah.
spiritual level.
Yeah.
Mainly just the scene of her going, "This is amazing. What have I done? Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm the worst person in the world."
No, like literally
oh
same.
man, gotta love Rapunzel.
She's great.
I think if they did a remake, they 100% should do Zachary Levi and Mandy Moore.
No,
I think they could do
not
it.
Mandy Moore.
Zachary Levi could get away with it.
It needs to be Florence Pugh.
No.
I actually thought
No.
Mandy Moore.
there's this girl.
No.
She played.
was old.
Oh my God, she was in Dear John, the blonde girl, the main character in Dear
Oh,
John.
Amanda Seyfried?
Yeah,
I
that
think
one.
she would be
Is
a
that
good
her?
Rapunzel.
Was she in that?
Like her or not? Yeah, she
think
was Amanda
so.
Seyfried. I think
The
she
one
would
that
be a
was
good
in Mamma
Rapunzel.
Mia?
She's a talented actress.
And she played Karen.
She
in Mean
looks
Girls.
just like Rapunzel in real
Yeah.
life.
She can tell when it's raining.
It's
Yeah.
raining. It's 100% chance.
All right,
There's
I'm
an
done.
80% chance that it's already raining.
She'd be a good Rapunzel. I'm going
don't
to
like
answer
her.
the question.
I wasn't done.
Oh, continue.
Okay.
Chill out, Tej.
It's not your
Wow,
turn.
teacher, I talk too much.
Courtney's
Let me.
Okay.
I say that I talk too much, but I'm also okay talking too much. Continue.
That is true.
He didn't say he had a problem with it. He just said he was doing it.
Okay, I think my favorite like non-remake live action is going to be Cruella.
We have not seen that
Oh
one.
wow, I didn't
It
even.
is
The one with Emma
so
Stone?
good. Yes.
So good.
It's
Really?
So good.
The soundtrack alone.
I
Yes.
heard the opposite. That's
Okay, don't.
impressive.
Okay.
Don't listen. Everyone's entitled to their wrong opinion.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Most of the time, the critics are right. They were wrong. First of all, when the critics first criticized this movie, it had 3 out of 10 stars. It is now reverted back to 8 out of 10 over time. Yes, this movie has become a critical success.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic.
I will definitely. I'm now. I'm intrigued.
Have you guys finished all the Star Wars, or are you still working
No.
through them?
No, we're
We
working through it.
watched 3, 4, and 5.
3, 4. Are you going in order, or are you just watching them?
I'm
in
making her
order?
watch
said I
4,
need
5,
to
6, 1,
watch
2,
it.
3. I'm making
Oh,
her
I'm
watch them
sorry,
like
I
they
said
came
the
out.
wrong
Oh, like the
numbers.
release.
I'm making her
order.
watch them like the release. Yeah.
Okay, so then we've watched 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, so all the 80s.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the classics.
I think we started 1. No, I don't
No.
think we started
I'll come-
1. I
I'll
think we
come-
keep talking about starting 1.
No.
I'll let TJ answer. Are you done, Courtney? Sorry.
Wait, I want to talk about my favorite Pixar movies.
What's your favorite Pixar movie?
We got to hear this.
I love that
Okay.
she's being talkative. That's just nice.
I just like in my
She's got her
brain I'm like-
categories.
She does.
I do.
We're in Courtney's world right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna say 2. I really like Ratatouille.
I love Ratatouille.
I love Ratatouille. I also really love Inside Out.
I'm excited for 2.
Me
I'm not
We
ready for
are
2.
too.
I'm excited for
I am
anxiety.
not emotionally
Same.
stable for 2.
I just love him.
When she returns home on the first one, I boo-hoo cry.
Oh, yeah.
Every
Yes.
time. When her dad like
Yes.
hugs her and her mom
Oh, I
hugs her.
boohoo cry whenever Bing Bong.
Bing bong.
Here's your friend,
She's
likes
so
play.
sly.
Bing Bong, Bing Bong.
When he, like-
like,
When he like
Like
yeets himself out of the
I'm
wagon.
watching a Pixar movie. I
and then he
wasn't
says,
expecting to
what
die
doesn't he
emotionally.
like? He's like, go save our girl or go save Riley or like
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Also, he cries candy and that's cool.
Yeah.
I love
I want to
that.
cry candy. I'd
I
cry
would love to
even
cry
candy.
more than I already do.
A lot of
cool.
candy in that cave with her as he slowly disappears.
Oh my gosh.
So sad.
I hated that.
TJ, go. While we cry.
That was painful.
Repeat the question.
Favorite Disney movie? Or
What was
you
your
can break it up
favorite
into
movie?
categories?
She did a lot of categories. All right, so my favorite. I'll do this. My favorite.
Classic, modern, and Pixar?
I feel like I know what your favorite.
My favorite classic movie is Beauty and the Beast.
I feel like I know.
If
what
you're
your favorite
going
Pixar movie is.
classic, I really love Sleeping Beauty. But my favorite, like, if you all the classic Disney princesses, Belle is like my favorite. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite. Favorite Pixar movie is Toy Story 1.
Toy Story. Yep.
It's forever be my favorite. I can't get away from it. It's fantastic.
Tori's favorite part in that movie is not a part you'd expect. It's just when
Oh
Woody
my
goes.
gosh.
It's literally when Woody
No,
goes,
no,
if you don't have a movie buddy, get one. And this is what happens to her every time it is on.
My favorite is when Woody.
If you are not watching the YouTube video, you need to. Tori is losing it right now from a stupid
Please
line.
go watch
we gotta
this.
get
She's
ready to
crying.
move.
She's
Movie
literally got
day's
tears in her eyes.
coming, and if you don't have a movie
Movie
buddy,
get one. It's the best.
They didn't even write that as a real joke, and you just died. You're
It's
literally
just
turning
the
red.
My
way that Tom Hanks delivers it is just so gold.
Get one.
It's very Tory of you.
one.
That's your favorite line. My favorite line of that movie is, "Okay, Mr. Lightbeer."
That one's good
Yeah,
too.
that was good.
That was an actual joke.
No.
You're laughing at the part that they just put in that was delivered. They didn't write it as a joke.
Oh, you know what else I love in that movie is when Mr. Potato Head goes, laser envy, huh?
Yes, that's the knee
I
slapper.
didn't catch on to it until I was an adult and our son was watching it, and I went, "What?"
Laser envy.
I think that was Mr. Potato Head that says that.
It is.
Oh,
He
okay.
says all the.
He's sassy.
Was it him or was it Ham?
Ham. It's either
I
him
don't
or
know,
ham.
it was him or
They
ham.
both have all the hammy lines.
It might have been
Yeah.
this Okay, TJ, continue.
My favorite modern Disney movie, she actually took it, is Tangled. Tangled's one of my favorites. Flynn Rider is probably
love
my
Flynn.
favorite
He's
prince.
fantastic.
He's fantastic. He's funny. I love his villainous story where like he's this swashbuckling rogue, and he got his whole character from a book that he read because he was an orphan.
Really sad.
And so he like wanted to be this cool. Anyways, Flynn Rider, fantastic.
His character arc is really good
It's
too.
beautiful. I hope they come out with a Tangled too. I really do. And then what was the other one you said? Live action, was it?
yeah.
Yeah, she did live
Did
action.
you? Yeah, you did Pixar.
Live action for me would, probably be Cruella. Actually, I really love Cruella. It's a fantastic movie.
Dang,
We just
that
watched the
good.
Lion King live action today.
I did not.
Caden wanted to watch it.
I came
He
home
liked
and it
it.
was
I
on.
did
I don't
not.
like the
can't.
Lion King anyways. Like just because
Same.
it's just really depressing and I don't like that and I don't
Lion
like
King is
dealing with any of
amazing.
that. I don't like it. I like the songs. I love like Can't Wait to Be King. Like I love those aspects, but I don't like the trauma, and Scar is so like emotionally manipulative, like in a super dark way.
Yeah, Lion King is a movie that I can
Wait till you see what
admit.
it was based on.
No thanks.
Lion King is a movie that I can admit is a masterpiece. It's kind of like the movie No Country for Old Men.
Oh yeah, that's a really good movie.
It's a beautiful masterpiece. It's so dark in places that I don't want to watch it again.
yeah.
I've seen Lion King multiple times. I think it's beautiful. I really do.
I don't think it's a terrible movie.
No, it's not. It's a beautiful masterpiece of a movie. I simply would much rather watch Inside Out or Toy Story or Tangled or Frozen. Does that make sense?
I don't know why. I can watch Lion King, no problem. But The Good Dinosaur, nope, can't finish it.
Oh, we couldn't. Caden
The
wanted
good
to watch
times.
it, and
Nope, I
we
got-
were like,
I got
I
a
was
few
like, wait,
minutes in.
isn't this the one with the thing? And Caden's like, I want to watch this one, and me and Scott both went,
your mark.
no,
Can't handle that one.
I can't watch it. But I'm like, I can't.
What's your
do
next
Lion King.
question?
So I was gonna ask, what is your favorite Star Wars so far?
That was impressive. So
I'm excited to hear.
I don't know. Okay, I think I just
We only
like.
got 3 to choose from right now, so
I know. Okay, I'm gonna say the wrong number 4.
that is a New Hope.
Okay, I think
That's
I
the
like.
first one.
I think,
You've seen 4, 5, and 6.
I know, but I think I like 4.
Where it starts on the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Start of the ship.
It doesn't.
Oh, it does start of the
yes,
ship.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts in space technically, but it's fine.
All of them start in space.
The ship is in space.
Mine
That's a good point.
is, I've seen them all. Mine is The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Or I also like, what's episode 3 called?
3 would be the Revenge of the Sith.
One of those two.
Scott's used to be Empire Strikes Back.
I
I
love
bought him
Empire Strikes
Vans
Back.
that were themed that way with all of the but then
so
it changed.
It's still Empire Strikes Back from the from the saga.
Yeah, but overall though, it's changed.
I reject whatever the Rise of Skywalker garbage
I don't know what the
was.
crap that was.
those don't count. I haven't seen.
They
It.
do not. Don't.
Just don't even waste your
Just
time. Skip
don't.
those. But from all the Star Wars, it's Rogue One. I love Rogue One. I think Rogue One
We
holds
haven't
a
seen that
special
yet. I haven't
place.
seen it either.
That one's good.
So Empire Strikes Back was like me and my mom's movie. Like we really like that. And then we went and saw, me and you saw Rogue One, and then I went back with her and we saw Rogue One together.
Okay.
And it was like, that was the first movie we got to see in theaters together, because obviously I wasn't around for Empire. But like we saw that in theaters, and that was like, there's good memories tied to
y'all
that.
went.
Yeah, and like, cause she got me into Star Wars.
Yes.
So like, Rogue One was a huge like a big memory for us. But also, I just loved Rogue One. It was just visually was so much fun.
The
It
story
was a good
was
story.
phenomenal. It tied in
Like,
perfectly with
Yeah.
like carrying on into A New Hope, because it's supposed to be Rogue One and A New Hope.
Oh, okay.
Is it a masterpiece in like cinema? It's not an Old Country for No Men or No Country for Old Men. It's not like that. But it is just a good movie I enjoyed so much. And I'm like, that's the real heart to cinema, is like, did you walk out of the theater and go, oh, that was awesome, I want to see it again? Like, that's the test.
Are you willing to pay for it again?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Like-
something that we don't take into effect. Is like you get into all these like film noir things where people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna get so creative with like you have." Oh my God, what's the movie I'm thinking of? I can't name it. It has Natalie Portman when she's super young.
Oh, Black Swan?
No, she's even younger than that.
That
It's
one
Leon
was-
something.
Something.
Anyways, it's like a film. It's like a cult film, super famous. You have like films that are famous for the sake of being famous because they're like filmed in really creative ways, and then you have films like Jurassic Park. And I can watch the movie over and over again. And are there cinematic elements that are beautiful and the animatronics are unique? Yeah. But when you compare it to other like cinematic masterpieces, they don't stack up. But it's like there's something about this movie with the storytelling combined with the
just
cinematography,
fun.
with the animatronics, with the dialogue, and it's just everything adds up. I'm sure Rogue One's the same way, where it's like, did they get every box 100? No, but they got everything across the line to a place where it's like, this is really good, and I want to watch this over and over again. Yeah, that's key.
I think that's like a great example. We're deviating again. This is gonna be a long episode, but
I don't care.
have you guys
It's great.
seen like
Substance, baby.
Did you guys see the Eternals Marvel's movie?
No.
I also have opinions.
I tried to watch it and could not finish
Yeah,
it.
Alright.
right.
There's a reason
Before
for
you
that.
say that, I'm at this place where since Endgame, and we went and watched it together. Or,
Yes, we
I'm sorry,
did. We did
Was
see-
it Endgame?
No, we watched it in game, yeah.
No, it was Endgame, yep.
I cannot get over what
Freaking
happened.
out. We were getting so excited with the people in that movie.
I cannot get over what happened at the end of Endgame. Marvel's dead to me because I'm just grieving. I know you're laughing.
Spoiler
I
alert.
know
I mean,
you're
it's
laughing.
true. I remember Courtney was like, "It can't be. He can't be dead. He can't be."
He's not dead.
He's not.
I'm in pain, so I would just continue to watch Iron Man 2008, and things are fine. Continue.
Things are great.
At this point, I think Disney's happy if you just do that and won't look at anything else they're producing.
Fair enough.
The
Yeah, Eternals was boo boo.
Eternals was
Beautiful,
bad,
beautiful boo boo.
but like it was the first like misstep. Like I don't want to say misstep, but it was like the first time that like Disney was blindsided by being a movie being bad and performing bad, because like they thought that movie was going to blow up. Like
Yeah.
everybody thinks their movie's going to do fine, but like theater generally know, like companies know going into it whether or not this is going to be a major success or not.
They have a rough
like
idea.
you could see like Warner Brothers knew Aquaman 2 was going to be a disaster. They didn't market it. They were just like, you're going to fail and failing quiet and let's get this over with. But like Disney thought Eternals was going to like
Be a
be
masterpiece.
a cinematic masterpiece because it checked all the boxes.
Right.
It was beautifully shot. It was well acted. It had this deep and elaborate story.
Star
It had all
cast.
this stuff like in place, and they thought it was going to be a masterpiece. They put it into film festivals. They did all this stuff. They didn't put an embargo on it. They did everything thinking that this was going to be a huge thing, and it flopped hard to the point where like the actors were like on tour about it because there was no embargo to stop them from being talked about, and they were like getting hammered with the reviews of how bad this movie was, and they're like trying to promote it but also like go to these festivals for it.
One of the guys was just like,
yeah.
I hated it.
He was like, this was the worst experience I
was
ever
miserable.
had. Disney did not expect this movie to fail. And it's a great example of like the movie checked every box you should check to be kind of a success, except for the last one, which was, does anybody enjoy this?
Oh.
And everybody walked out of that movie. Like I walked out of that movie and was like, that was a movie.
We always have that because like whenever we go see a movie in theaters, like you have the initial shock value of like, oh wow, that was and then we'll get in the car. And then over the next like 2-3 days,
I'm rewriting the movie.
we're unpacking it, and we're like, well, I didn't really think about that. And then it's, what about that? That doesn't make any sense. What the heck? And then it just like
Yeah.
keeps going downhill. And so like that was what that was for that. Because I was just like, I have qualms. Like
love
it's just
that.
not great.
I love that as a watermark. It's like if you're gonna make a movie, you can spend all the money you want on visual effects. You can hire the best actors in the world. You can write the story. You can do everything. But if people don't like it,
Who cares?
right? Like
I feel like the word for the podcast is substance.
substance.
Yeah.
Substance, baby.
Substance.
Yeah, that's nuts. I don't.
Well, we're over an hour now, so
I mean, the episode we did on their channel was almost 2.
Like,
so
it was like an hour and 55.
yeah, so we might be pushing that because the recorder resets after 45 minutes on its clock, and it has reset twice. So I'm gonna go with we're over that.
sick.
Because I just looked down and it started over again, and I was like, well, that's the third restart. So, guys, we definitely have to have you back on because this was great.
Love it.
And we enjoyed it so much. I also want to compliment you guys have gotten so much even better at podcasting since you started.
Thank you so
Which
much.
is great, especially Courtney, because I remember when you first started, you didn't say anything, and then tonight you said a lot more. So,
She's doing it.
and you said it with
She's doing
confidence.
it.
That's the real part.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
let me go.
Like,
Yeah.
here you go.
Y'all too. I'm super proud of you guys. Thanks for having us on. Y'all are inspirational, and y'all are doing a great thing with your podcast. We really love it, and we're glad to be part of it.
Absolutely, guys.
Yeah.
So, guys, plug your podcast. Where can they find it? Obviously, everywhere podcasts are at, but
Plug
what
it.
are the socials?
Okay, you can find us on Instagram at Wish Upon a Sparks or Wish Upon a Sparks Podcast. You can email us. No one ever emails us, but if you feel like you need to, you can email
If you feel
us.
it in
I
your
want
soul,
everyone that's listening to email them right
email
now.
them.
Please spam us.
You can email us at wishuponasparks@gmail.com or, yeah.
Soon
I
on
don't know.
YouTube,
Yeah,
probably,
maybe.
if you're going to do video.
Adding a video element soon. This is our commitment. We're gonna do it.
Yee.
Soon is relative.
Courtney has given us a lot of sound bites that are just great.
She's a woman of few words, but when she speaks, you must listen.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
that
am I
is so
wrong?
true.
Soon to you could be like 2 hours, but soon to me could be like 6 months.
That's deep.
I mean, you did tell me we wanted to do a podcast, and the next Sunday we were recording. So
That hits. That hits.
Seems relative. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for coming on, and I can't wait to have you guys back on.
Same.
Be sure to check out their podcast if you have
Yeah.
even the slightest interest in movies and Disney and all things enjoyable and happy. And we'll see you guys back next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on the podcast. If you enjoy the 626 podcast, the best thing you can do for us is to share it with a friend and leave a 5-star review. It helps us a lot to get discovered.
And be sure to check us out on Instagram at 626podcast.